بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So welcome to المجلس الثالث. In regards to the end of the previous lesson when I talked about some of the adab and I said it'll come later in the book, I had a quick look, so I thought let me just quickly mention it to you guys now. The Shaykh does mention it, he has separate chapters for that. So as you can see here, المجلس العاشر في آداب الصيام الواجبة، المجلس الحادي عشر في آداب الصيام المستحبة. So these adab, you can add on to the. As for today's lesson, في حكم صيام رمضان. It is regarding the ruling of the fasting in the month of Ramadan. And the Shaykh actually talks about a number of issues in this chapter. He talks about the ruling of Ramadan, which is quite straightforward, it's obligatory, but he'll talk about that. And then he also talks about when was it made obligatory, and was it from the get-go that you had to fast every single day. So he'll talk about the different stages. So when was it made obligatory, and the different stages of fasting as well. And then the rest of the chapter, he speaks about the مسألة بما يثبت دخول الشهر. بما يثبت دخول الشهر. With what is the entrance of the month established? i.e. how do we know the month has started? How do we know the month has started? So again we're going to skip the intro. The Shaykh says إخواني إن صيام رمضان أحد أركان الإسلام ومبانيه العظام. My brothers, verily the fasting the month of Ramadan is one of the pillars of Islam and its great structures. قال الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. So these are the ayat of fasting, and we don't need to go through them. If you want to have more detail in regards to the tafsir of these ayat, then I have a lecture if I to show you here. It's currently not my channel because I had done it as an Instagram live. Was it last year? Yeah, a year ago for Salafi Events UK. So they actually just uploaded it onto their channel. I might just take it on and upload it onto my channel later, but for now it's only on here. نعم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بني الإسلام على خمس شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وحج البيت وصوم رمضان. متفق عليه. And since we're focusing on Arabic, the all majrur as you can see وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة. Obviously الصلاة is مضاف إليه, but إقامي, why is that majrur? Because it's بدل على خمس, يعني على شهادة أو أساسي معطوف على خمس شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وإقام الصلاة, يعني وعلى إقام الصلاة وعلى إيتاء الزكاة وعلى حج البيت وعلى صوم رمضان. That's why. متفق عليه ولمسلم وصوم رمضان وحج البيت. mean the last two that swapped around. Now he's going to move on to when was it established, when was it made obligatory. He says فرض صيام رمضان في السنة الثانية من الهجرة. It was made obligatory in the second year from Hijrah. فصام رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 9 سنين. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم fasted how many Ramadans? 9. وكان فرض الصيام على مرحلتين. And now the two levels of fasting. المرحلة الأولى التخيير. التخيير means choice. It's a very important word to learn. It comes in Usul al-Fiqh in the beginning when we talk about mubah. This word will come there as well. التخيير بين الصيام والإطعام مع تفضيل الصيام عليه. You were able to choose between fasting or feeding the poor people, whilst preference was given to fasting. المرحلة الثانية, the second, تعيين الصيام بدون تخيير. تعيين meaning chosen fasting is chosen, meaning you have to fast without being able to choose. That's what we're doing now. We have to fast. And this is mentioned in the ayat of Siyam. Yeah, the hadith is mentioned now as well. ففي الصحيحين عن سلمة ابن أكوع رضي الله عنه قال لما نزلت وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين كان من أراد أن يفطر ويفتدي يعني فعل حتى نزلت الآية التي بعدها فنسختها يعني بها قوله تعالى فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر. Basically, when the first ayah was revealed, then there's a choice. But once the second ayah was revealed, straight after it, Allah says, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمَ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. فَلْيَصُمْ is an amr. So that the naskh of the previous ayah, it abrogated the previous ayah, the previous ruling, so it became obligatory. فَأَوْجَبَ اللَّهُ الصِّيَامَ عَيْنًا بِدُونِ تَخِيرٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made fasting obligatory in, عَيْنًا itself, you can't choose anything, that's بِدُونِ تَخِيرٍ. And now the Shaykh is going to start talking about the entrance of the month. وَلَا يَجِبُ الصَّوْمُ حَتَّى يَثْبُتَ دُخُولُ الشَّهْرِ. And fasting is not obligatory until it is established the entrance of the month. فلا يصوم قبل دخول الشهر لقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يتقدمن أحدكم رمضان بصوم يوم أو يومين إلا أن يكون رجل كان يصوم صومه فليصوم ذلك اليوم. Only when it has been established, then we fast. And the Prophet said, do not precede Ramadan by fasting a day or two, unless it's something which it's known for you, like you're fasting every day of Sha'ban, for example. Or it ends up being a Monday or a Thursday. رواه البخاري. Now, ويحكم بدخول شهر رمضان بواحد من أمرين. Now he's going to talk about how do we know the month has entered. الأول رؤية هلاله لقوله تعالى. The first is that you see the hilal, and you see the new moon. The new moon. فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. Whoever has witnessed, يعني you see it. وقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا رأيتم الهلال فصوموا. متفق عليه. ولا يشترط أن يراه كل واحد بنفسه بل إذا رآه من يثبت بشهادته دخول الشهر وجب الصوم على الجميع. And it is not obligatory that every single person sees it by himself, but rather if one person sees it who and his shahada, his witness is affirmed. Okay, he's going to talk about how do we know what the conditions of that shahada, دخول الشهر. But if it's established and it's accepted, then fasting becomes obligatory upon everybody. Now he's going to give the conditions upon whom this witness, what are the conditions for this witness. ويشترط لقبول الشهادة بالرؤية أن يكون, number one, أن يكون شاهد بالغا, he has to be بالغ, عاقلا, he has to be عاقل, meaning have intellect, مسلما, موثوقا بخبره لأمانته وبصره. And he's موثوق meaning trustworthy. You might hear this word, he's a ثقة, so especially in the hadith, فلان ثقة or ثقة ثبت or something like that. Basically like he's authentic and he's trustworthy. بخبره, in his narrations, لأمانته, due to his amana, and وبصره, and also his sight. So somebody blind does it, now he can't see. But if somebody who you know that he can clearly see. فأما الصغير فلا يثبت الشهر بشهادته لأنه لا يثق به وأولى منه المجنون. So obviously a kid is not accepted, and because you can't trust him, and more precedence obviously if that's a kid than somebody who's majnoon, who does not have intellect. والكافر لا يثبت الشهر بشهادته, and also a kafir, okay, he has to be Muslim. لحديث ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال جاء أعرابي إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال إني رأيت الهلال يعني رمضان فقال أتشهد أن لا إله إلا الله قال نعم قال أتشهد أن محمدا رسول الله قال نعم قال يا بلال أذن في الناس فليصوموا غدا أخرجه السبعة إلا أحمد. So as you can see that Ibn Khuzaymah and Ibn Hibban have said it's authentic. However, Ibn Uthaymeen says that it's mursal, meaning there's somebody missing in the chain. And Albani also said it's weak as well. على كل حال, there's many proofs. Even this hadith has other shawahid or other narrations which indicate was the correct meaning of it. Hence why the Shaykh has used it here. But yeah, one Arabi came and he said that he saw it, and the person checked that, is he a Muslim? He said, and he was. So then he commanded Bilal to tell the people to fast. So one person was enough. ومن لا يوثق بخبره بكونه معروف بالكذب أو بالتسرع. So somebody who is not trustworthy, either he's known for lying or for being or hastening. Okay. أو كان ضعيف البصر بحيث لا يمكن أن يراه فلا يثبت الشهر بشهادته للشك في صدقه أو رجحان كذبه. Or he's somebody who has weak eyesight, then if he comes with a witness, it's not accepted. because of the doubt or the fact that it's most likely he's wrong. ويثبت دخول شهر رمضان خاصة بشهادة رجل واحد. And it is established the shahada if the conditions are there with one person. لقول ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما تراءى الناس الهلال فأخبرت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إني رأيته فصام وأمر الناس بصيامه. All the people were looking for the moon and I told the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم that I saw it, and then he fasted and he commanded the people to also fast. رواه أبو داود والحاكم قال على شرط مسلم. And this hadith has been authenticated by الألباني. ومن رآه متيقنا رؤيته وجب عليه إخبار ولاة الأمور بذلك، وكذلك من رأى هلال شوال وذي الحج لأنه يترتب على ذلك واجب الصوم والفطر والحج، وما لا يتم الواجب إلا به فهو واجب. So whoever is certain and he sees the moon, then it's obligatory for him to tell the authorities, and also, not only Ramadan but also the other months as well, because all the months have rulings when it comes to the fasting on which day, Monday, Thursday, and not Monday, Thursday, sorry. If you want to fast the 12th or the 13th, sorry, the 13th, 14th, 15th, also Hajj, all of these are to do with the month when it starts. So you have to tell the authorities. وَمَا لَا يَتِمُّ الْوَاجِبُ إِلَّا بِهِ فَهُوَ وَاجِب. And this is a qaida, that thing which the wajib in of itself is not completed except with it, then that thing also becomes wajib. And a famous example, even though there are separate proofs for this, but just for the sake of understanding, you can't pray without wudu, and praying is wajib, and because you can't pray without wudu, then wudu also becomes wajib. وإن رآه وحده في مكان بعيد لا يمكنه إخبار ولاة الأمور فإنه يصوم ويسعى في إيصال الخبر إلى ولاة الأمور بقدر ما يستطيع. And if somebody sees it and he's in a place where it's far away and he can't tell anyone, then he fasts himself and he tries his best to to go and inform the authorities as much as he can. وإذا أعلن ثبوت الشهر من قبل الحكومة بالراديو أو غيره وجب العمل بذلك في دخول الشهر وخروجه في رمضان أو غيره. If it's been announced by the government with the radio or whatever it may be, obviously maybe the Sheikh sounds more radio now, whichever way it is, then وجب, then it's obligatory to fast and it's obligatory to act by it. لأن إعلانه من قبل الحكومة حجة شرعية يجب العمل بها, because an announcement from the government, then obviously he's not talking about the UK government, it's talking about an Islamic government, then it's حجة شرعية, it's an Islamic proof, and it's obligatory to act by it. And this is a science in of itself, like siyasa sharia, Islamic politics, and how to govern a country and what are the rulings and all of this. And many books, we studied the whole semester in Medina Uni, and there's whole books on it. Shaykh al-Islam has a book on it, and or Ibn Qayyim, and many other ulama have got books. Mardawi's got a book, Ahkam al-Sultaniyya, and there's many other books. ولذلك أمر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بلال أن يؤذن في الناس معلنا ثبوت الشهر ليصوموا حين ثبت عنده صلى الله عليه وسلم دخوله وجعل ذلك الإعلام ملزما لهم بالصيام. That's what the Prophet, as soon as he got the khabar and he established it, he told Bilal to make the announcement, and all of the people had to fast. وإذا ثبت دخول الشهر ثبوتا شرعيا فلا عبرة بمنازل القبر. And if the entrance of the month has been established Islamically, then we don't even look at where the placement of the month. Why? لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم علق الحكم برؤية الهلال لا بمنازله, because the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he علق, meaning he connected and based the ruling upon seeing it, not upon some scientific way of working it out. Obviously at that time there was some sort of science which they could have tried to work it out with. However, the Prophet ﷺ didn't turn to that, and he said if you see it, so the condition is that you have to see it. فقال إذا رأيتم الهلال فصوموا وإذا رأيتموه فأفطروا. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن شهد شاهدان مسلمان فصوموا وأفطروا. رواه أحمد. And this hadith has been authenticated by Al-Albani in Irwa al-Ghalil. Okay, so that's this is all regarding the first point. So regarding how we see them, how the month is established. The first is by seeing the moon. The second is الأمر الثاني مما يحكم فيه بدخول الشهر إكمال الشهر السابق. So the completion of the month. قبله 30 يوما, before it يعني شعبان 30 days, لأن الشهر القمري لا يمكن أن يزيد على 30 يوما ولا ينقص عن 29 يوما. A month cannot be more than 30. The moon month, the Hijri calendar, it cannot be more than 30 days and cannot be less than 29. I forgot the word for it. What's the word? When the calendar is following the moon setting. So when we have in the Gregorian calendar, we follow the sun, right? And that's why it's 365 days. But the Islamic calendar looks at the moon. But anyways, it cannot be more than 30 and it cannot be less than 29. وربما يتوالى شهران وثلاثة إلى 34 يوما أو شهران وثلاثة إلى 29 يوما. So you might find 2 or 3 consecutive months which is all 30 days, and then you might even find 2 or 3 consecutive months which are 29 days. لكن الغالب شهر أو شهران كاملة والثالث ناقص. But, and this is a nice fa'idah which I didn't know, but the majority of the time a month or 2 months, they are complete. You'll find 2 months, one month or 2 are complete, 30 days, والثالث ناقص, and the third one is 29. So either 1 or 2 months are 30 and then one is 29. And then he says فمتى تم الشهر السابق 30 يوما حكم شرعا بدخول الشهر الذي يليه وإن لم يرى الهلال, لقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صوموا لرؤيته وأفطروا لرؤيته فإن غمي عليكم شهرا فعدوا 30. رواه مسلم. The famous hadith of the Prophet that the Shaykh before that, he says that if you don't see it, then you have to complete the month 30 days, even if you don't see the month, even if you don't see the moon. Okay, if you don't see it on the 29th, then you have to complete the month. And if you look later on, these are hadith you can just read yourself. وبهذه الأحاديث تبين أنه لا يصام رمضان قبل رؤية هلاله. And with this hadith we learn that we do not fast before Ramadan except by seeing it. فإن لم يرى الهلال أكمل شعبان 30 يوما. And if you do not see it, then you have to complete شعبان 30 days. ولا يصام يوم 30 سواء كانت الليلة صحوا أم غيما, لقول عمار بن ياسر رضي الله عنه. The 30th day we don't fast it. The 30th day we do not fast it. Whether it's a clear sky or if it's cloudy sky, we don't fast it. It's not allowed to fast, because Ammar ibn Yasir, he says, من صام اليوم الذي يشك فيه فقد عصى أبا القاسم. Whoever fasts the day where there is doubting, which is the 30th, then he has disobeyed Abu al-Qasim صلى الله عليه وسلم, which is the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. رواه أبو داود والترمذي والنسائي وذكره البخاري تعليقا. Bukhari mentioned تعليقا. This تعليق Bukhari is it's a matter in Mustalah Hadith. What does it exactly mean? It's basically Bukhari who mentions some narrations without a whole chain, and we know if you don't mention the chain, that makes the hadith weak. However, just a quick answer, 2 things. Firstly, Bukhari would do this in the chapter headings. So like the name of the chapter, he will do it. He might mention a statement of like the Salaf, or he might mention he mentions something, he won't put the chain there. He might even mention a hadith and not put the chain, or shorten the chain and miss people out on the chain. And that is because firstly that's not part of his book. It's the name of the chapter. So no one can turn around and say that there's da'if a hadith in there because, oh look, he missed out a person. That's not even from the book anyway. It's not part of the book. It's a chapter heading. It's not part of the actual book. And secondly, all of them, Hafid ibn Hajar and many ulama came later, actually find that all of those narrations that he did mention, then they are actually fully connected. They are actually fully connected and authentic. But obviously then there's a masala of الذي جزم به البخاري, the one that he did jazm with and the ones that he didn't. And this, if you want a good answer, it requires a bit of time, so I don't want to go into too much depth here. But point being is that we don't have to worry about Bukhari being authentic or not. And this hadith anyway has been authenticated by Albani. This hadith anyway has been authenticated by Al-Albani. And with this, the Shaykh, he concludes and he makes dua and then concludes. And next lesson, inshallah, we will take the next gathering. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.